हाँ जी, अपन जो पढ़ रहे थे पावर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, और पावर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का अपन पढ़ रहे हैं फायरिंग सर्किट, गेट फायरिंग सर्किट। इसके ऊपर अपन ने अभी तक ये पावर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का थर्ड लेक्चर है, अपना तीसरा लेक्चर है। यदि इसे पहले वाले लेक्चर के थ्रू आप नहीं गए हैं तो डेफिनेटली यू हैव टू गो थ्रू दीज लेक्चर्स एंड देन टेक द बेसिक नॉलेज। पहला जो लेक्चर अपन ने लिया था उसमें पावर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स होती क्या है, और पावर और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स दो अलग अलग एरियाज है, वो मिक्स करके एक नया सब्जेक्ट बना। ये सब्जेक्ट की स्टार्टिंग हुई 1958 से, जब एससीआर एक नई डिवाइस इन्वेंट हुई थी। तो वहां से सेमीकंडक्टिंग डिवाइसेस पावर में काम आने लगे और नई डिवाइसेस बनने लगी। ये डिवाइसेस नथिंग दे आर डिवाइसेस आर नथिंग, दे आर ओनली द स्विचिंग डिवाइसेस, ओनली द स्विच. So they can control the flow of the current, they can change the direction of the current, they can work in the forward biasing and they can work in the reverse biasing, and they can block the forward biasing, they can allow the forward biasing. So this is the way we can control the flow and change the directions and allow them and not allowed. According to that there will be different. So all the things have been discussed in the first lecture. Second lecture में अपन ने जो डिस्कशन किया था वो डायोड जो पावर डायोड्स होते हैं, ट्रांजिस्टर्स जो पावर ट्रांजिस्टर्स होते हैं, पावर ट्रांजिस्टर्स की कंपैरिजन, उनकी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, डायोड की कैरेक्टरिस्टिक और एससीआर की कैरेक्टरिस्टिक के बारे में डिस्कस किया था। ये जो डिस्कशन से अपन को ये पता लगा था कि पावर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइसेस में जो एससीआर होता है वो कैसे काम करता है, उसकी जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक कैसे होती है, इसकी वीआई कैरेक्टरिस्टिक कैसे होती है, इसकी डायनेमिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक कैसे होती है, और इस कैरेक्टरिस्टिक के अकॉर्डिंग ये डिवाइस कैसे वर्क करती है और कहाँ कहाँ के इसमें फॉरवर्ड में कैसे काम करती है, रिवर्स में कैसे काम करती है, इसको गेट से कैसे फायर किया जा सकता है, ये अपन ने कुछ डिस्कशन किया था। इसके बाद आज अपन जो है उसे पहले वाले लेक्चर जो है उसमें अपन ने ये भी डिस्कशन किया था कि गेट फायरिंग जो सर्किट्स होते हैं वो जो है चार टाइप के सर्किट्स होते हैं। पहला जो है आर फायरिंग सर्किट होता है, दूसरा आरसी फायरिंग सर्किट होता है, तीसरा फायरिंग सर्किट होता है उसको बोलते हैं यूजेटी फायरिंग सर्किट, यूजेटी, और चौथा जो होता है तीसरा यूजेटी फायरिंग सर्किट है। यूजेटी के साथ ही यूजेटी एंड पल्स ट्रांसफॉर्मर फायरिंग स्कीम होती है, जिसपे यूजेटी की जो पल्सेस होती है वो रेक्टेंगल पल्स नहीं होती। इससे एससीआर जो है ऑन नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि एससीआर को ऑन होने के लिए एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम ड्यूरेशन के लिए पल्स की जरूरत होती है। और चौथा जो फायरिंग स्कीम जो होती है वो लॉजिकल सर्किट्स अपन उस पर लगा देते हैं, माइक्रो प्रोसेसर बेस्ड सर्किट लगा देते हैं, और वो एक प्रोग्रामिंग सर्किट्स होते हैं और उस प्रोग्राम के अकॉर्डिंग उसको जो है गेट पल्स मिलती है, उस ड्यूरेशन में गेट पल्स मिलती है और उस ड्यूरेशन के अकॉर्डिंग एससीआर काम करते हैं। तो ये अपन ने इसके गेट फायरिंग सर्किट्स पढ़े थे। पहला जो मैं फायरिंग को दोबारा थोड़ा सा रिपीट कर देता हूँ, ये आपका जो है लोड है और ये आपका एक एससीआर है। इस एससीआर को फायर करने के लिए यहाँ एक रेजिस्टेंस लगा हुआ है, ये वेरिएबल रेजिस्टेंस है, ये गेट का रेजिस्टेंस है, और यहाँ से गेट को कनेक्टिविटी दे रखी है। ओके, तो ये वेरिएबल रेजिस्टेंस है, इसके अकॉर्डिंग जो है कहाँ फायर करना उसको वेरी किया जा सकता है। तो ये पहला फायरिंग सर्किट है। दूसरा फायरिंग सर्किट में अपन ने एक लोड लगा रखा है, लोड के साथ ये एससीआर लगा रखा है। एससीआर को फायर करने के लिए एक रेजिस्टेंस है, एक वेरिएबल रेजिस्टेंस है और एक कैपेसिटर लगा रखा है। ये कैपेसिटर रिवर्स में फुली चार्ज हो उसके लिए क्या कर रखा है, अपन ने अरेंजमेंट कर रखा है कि ये डायोड के थ्रू रिवर्स डायरेक्शन में पावर फ्लो करवा देते हैं, और इधर की साइड में रिवर्स में वोल्टेज नहीं आए इसके लिए एक डायोड लगा रखा है जो रिवर्स में इसको वोल्टेज अलाउ नहीं करता। यहाँ वोल्टेज एक पर्टिकुलर वोल्टेज से ज़्यादा भी नहीं आए उसके लिए एक जीनर डायोड लगा देते हैं जो वोल्टेज को ब्लॉक करता है और एक पर्टिकुलर वोल्टेज से ज़्यादा वोल्टेज अलाउ नहीं करता। यहाँ पे कोई भी जो है ट्रांजिएंट नहीं आए उसके लिए एक रेजिस्टेंस लगा देते हैं। इस टाइप की सारी अरेंजमेंट करने के साथ ये एक सर्किट बना रखा है जिसको आरसी फायरिंग सर्किट बोलते हैं, आरसी फायरिंग। डिटेल में आप स्टडी करेंगे तो अपनी ऑनलाइन क्लासेस होती हैं, उस ऑनलाइन क्लासेस पे आप जो है रेगुलर बेसिस पे एनरोल हो सकते हैं। अदरवाइज इन लेक्चर्स के थ्रू जाके भी आप बहुत अच्छा एंजॉय कर सकते हैं और सब्जेक्ट को फंडामेंटली समझ सकते हैं। ये मैं आपको रिवाइज करवा रहा हूँ, इसके पीछे वाले लेक्चर में इसको डिटेल से स्टडी करवा रखी है हमने। इसके बाद में तीसरा जो सर्किट होता है उसको बोलते हैं यूजेटी एंड पल्स ट्रांसफर फायरिंग स्कीम। इसमें ये एससीआर है, ये एससीआर को अपन ने गेट से कनेक्टिविटी दे रखी है और कनेक्टिविटी को अपन ने क्या कर रखा है, यूजेटी लगा रखा है, और यूजेटी का ये जो सर्किट डायग्राम होता है वो ऐसा होता है। यूजेटी को एक रेजिस्टेंस और एक कैपेसिटर से जोड़ के रखते हैं जो इसको बेस को करंट देता है। यूजेटी वैसे तो यूनि जंक्शन होता है, फिर भी एक ट्रांजिस्टर की तरह काम करता है। और यहाँ पे इस ट्रांजिस्टर को अपन एक क्या कर सकते हैं, एक ट्रांसफॉर्मर से कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं। इसका नाम जो होता है वो पल्स ट्रांसफॉर्मर होता है। तो ये यूजेटी पल्स ट्रांसफर फायरिंग है। इसको प्लस वी बी बी एक बाइसिंग दे देते हैं और यहाँ से इसको ग्राउंड कर देते हैं। इस टाइप पे एक फायरिंग सर्किट होता है। ये एक आइसोलेटेड सर्किट भी होता है जो सेफ्टी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से लिए बेटर होता है। इस टाइप का ये फायरिंग स्कीम है। चौथी टाइप की जो फायरिंग स्कीम है, ये आपका सोर्स है, ये आपका लोड है, और ये एससीआर है। एससीआर के साथ कनेक्टिविटी के लिए ये एक लॉजिकल सर्किट है। ये माइक्रो प्रोसेसर बेस्ड लॉजिकल सर्किट, और लॉजिकल सर्किट को कंट्रोल करने के लिए कंट्रोलिंग सर्किट लगा हुआ है, और इसको यदि पल्सेस में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए एक ट्रांसफॉर्मर लगा हुआ है जो इसको आइसोलेट भी करता है और इलेक्ट्रिकल पावर सप्लाई भी करता है। इस टाइप में एक सर्किट बना रखा है, राइट। सो these are the 4 different type of the scheme. Through these schemes we can fire the SCR, we can fire the SCR, we can turn on the SCR through the gate circuit. And gate is that gate is the easiest scheme to turn on the SCR. It is the safest also to turn on the SCR as compared to all other firing schemes, other turning on schemes. So this is the revision of the previous lecture only. Now what type of the gate pulses are required? You know, the gate, only the positive pulse is required. First is only the positive, negative pulse should not be go through the gate. So to avoid that negative pulses, what we have to do, to avoid the negative, we are connecting a diode over here, so it avoid the negative pulses passes through. Here the diode doesn't allow the negative biasing. It not work in the negative, it work in a forward biasing only. So it not allow the negative pulse come to the gate circuit. So this is a good one. And the voltage should be not higher than the rated value. So here a Zener diode is connected, which is avoid the voltage. So Zener allow a particular voltage. If the voltage is higher than that, it works as a short circuit. So it not allow the voltage higher than the rated value, whatever the value will required. So we'll have to set that particular Zener only. And third one is we required the separation of the transient phenomena. So very high resistance will connect over here. So in normal cases it works the higher, so there is no any current flow, so then most of the current is passes through the gate. But you know, whenever the high voltage or transient will come, the current is passes through this resistance. Okay, and then this resistance, or maybe here capacitor, whatever. So this is the protection circuit. Here also will connect a fuse. So if the current is higher than the limited value, the fuse will be get damaged. Fuse will be get damaged. So this is the protection will provide. This is the protection will provided to the gate circuit. So this is the protection of the gate. Okay. So what is the power requirement of the gate? You know what is the power requirement? So the power is gate power maximum multiplied by, you know, the T on time divided by total time. That should be the average gate required power. It should be higher than or is equal to gate average power required. You know, the average power required, the required power to turn on the SCR. If the power is not the value is equal to the power average, SCR cannot be get on, because if it will give the current less, the voltage is more. You know, what the characteristic, the gate characteristic, this one This is the gate characteristic. This is the load line characteristic of a gate. So in this characteristic, what the voltage, the gate maximum voltage here, and this is the gate maximum current. If the gate maximum current, and this is the minimum value, gate maximum current, and the value should be, if the gate voltage this one, it required this one amount of the current. The gate current is G1, it required IZ1. If the gate voltage is, the less, gate G2, then it required more the current, IZ2. And if gate voltage is less, it required more of the current. So this is the gate's load line characteristic. So as per the gate having the gate required average power, so we will draw in the power and that all. So it should not be cross particular limit. The gate voltage, so it not be cross that. So it is this one. It should not be cross the minimum value. Here the minimum, then also it cannot be turned on. And this is the average power requirement. This is the average power requirement. So this is the power average power requirement of the gate. So this is the safest zone, and this is the load line characteristic. This is the load line characteristic. So it work over here, it work over here, it work over here, it work over here. At the safest zone it can work. So this is the voltage maximum, and this is the current maximum. So it should not be less than that, should not be higher than that the voltage. And this is the load line characteristic. So this is the power characteristic. It should not be the power that the required value. So to turn on, the gate region is non-conducting region. You know well. Gate region is a non-conducting region. To insert the charges in the gate is the typical work. So we require proper strength of the proper force to insert the charges inside the non-conducting region. Means force means here the voltage. So we require proper force to insert them, means voltage. And what happens when we are inserting the charges? They are not spreading automatically. They will remain at a particular location. They remain on that location. So this is the non-conducting region. And when we are inserting them some charges out from outside, they remain over here. Not spread at all. Not spreading at all. To spread them, we require sufficient amount of the charges. They next the charges, then the charges max the hips like this one. Then also the non-conductivity will start. Then further charges, then the hips like this one. And finally it touch on this point. So the conductivity will start. So sufficient amount of the charges and sufficient force to insert them in a non-conducting region. So sufficient means the value of the current and value of the voltage both is required. But it should not be maximum, the current maximum voltage. Otherwise gate is very sensitive. It will be damaged due to the overheating. So the voltage should not be higher than that. Current should not be higher than that. The voltage should not be less than this one. Voltage, this is the minimum value of the voltage. Minimum value of the voltage. This is the minimum value of the current. The minimum value of the current. So it should not be in this region also. So but when the voltage is higher, we require lesser the current. If the current is higher, lesser the voltage. So average value means multiple of these two should be higher than the average required power. So it is higher than the average required power. So this is nothing, it is on a duty cycle. So this is the power Z maximum into duty cycle should be higher than or equal to PZ average, AVG. MEA. Okay. So power maximum we can calculate what the maximum power, otherwise we can calculate the average power. So that it is the average power generally given divided by del. Del is nothing, it is T on divided by total T. So total T is constant frequency. See the on time of the gate into the frequency, and this is the way we can calculate. So power maximum is equal to this one. So this is the way we can calculate what the power requirement, what the maximum power, and all the things we can calculate easily. So this is the way we can find out what the power requirement and what the sufficient, and you know the sufficient value of voltage, current, as well as there is a time also. The minimum time for which gate pulse should be applied. If you know the gate pulse is not the sufficient, gate pulses are like this one. So there is the width of the gate pulse. This is the width of the gate pulse, that is T on duration of the gate. It also has the minimum value. If it is less than that, gate cannot be turned on. Gate cannot be turned on. Why? Because if SCR cannot achieve current the minimum required, that is no latching current. If the SCR cannot achieve the latching current, SCR cannot be turned on. It not turn on. So in a circuit, it depends upon the circuit condition also. Suppose that I am taking example. So what the gate pulse required, I am taking example. Suppose that there is a circuit. In this circuit there is a SCR and there is a voltage source also, and there is a resistance and inductor and a load resistance like this one. Okay. So the inductor of 0.1 millihenry. The latching current of the SCR is 10 milliampere. Latching current of the SCR is 10 milliampere. So how much duration gate pulse? The time of gate pulse. What? For what time gate pulse? The minimum duration of the gate pulse to turn on this SCR if the inductor in a circuit. So if the inductor in the circuit current is not increased, like this one. It increase like slowly and slowly. Not like this. It's increased like this. So the time, that the minimum time, the gate time should be where the current is equal to the latching current or higher than the latching current. So here the voltage is equal to L di by dt. L di by dt, this is the rate of change of the current. So voltage here, suppose that this source having the voltage equal to 400 volt. So source voltage 400 volt. Inductor is equal to 0.1. Rate of change, what the current required? Current started from 0 and achieved the value is equal to 10 milliampere. What the time t is required to reach that current? So it is the gate time, gate minimum required time. So the gate minimum required time is equals to this into this divided by 400. So tan can cancel out. So it is 1 milli divided by 400. So it is 1000 micro divided by 400. So it get cancel out. So it is 2.5 microsecond. This is the minimum required time to give the gate pulse. This is the minimum required time to provide the gate pulses. Otherwise, SCR cannot be get on. It depends upon the circuit source voltage. It depends upon the source voltage. It depends upon the value of inductor. It depends upon the latching current of the SCR. So, as per the given parameters, we can easily find out what the time we have to provide the gate pulses to the SCR. Okay. So gate pulses are not the continuous pulses we are providing. Otherwise the gate will be damaged. It overheat. So this kind of the pulse is generally we are providing. If the pulse if this one duration and not like the continuous pulse, if the pulse is like this one, if the pulse is like this one, if the pulse is like this one, this the pulse will provide it to turn on the gate. And then over here also, this is the pulse, this is the same number of. Gate pulse not a continuous pulse. Gate pulse is not a continuous pulse. Otherwise, what happens? SCR gate will be overheated, and due to the overheating, it will be damaged. So a discontinue, but the stream of pulse will be provided. That is the high carrier pulse. We can see high carrier pulses are provided to turn on the gate. Okay, so high pulses means the magnitude should be higher so that the average value comes out whatever the voltage required. So this voltage, the gate voltage, minimum required value having, so it's having the value higher than that. So what is this the minimum required value of the gate minimum required value. So it should be higher than, because it's not a continuous one. So the effective value comes out, that the effective value comes out gate average value, that is equal to del into gate value. Average is equal to the on duration and off duration. So that the average on divided by total into gate total. Okay, so this is the way we can easily define what time we require the gate pulses and what the voltage should be provided and how the strength should it have, what the power it should have, what the current it should have, and how much duration of the cycle should be provided to turn on the SCR. So this is the most about the gate circuit and its firing scheme. Now we are taking on the parallel operation of SCR, series operation of SCR and their protections. SCR protections, series parallel operation and SCR protection. So firstly we will write the SCR protection, then we are taking the series parallel operation of SCR, because they also cover, some part is cover in protection circuit, then we will take the series parallel operation. So protection, SCR protection. Not the firing, now the SCR protection. SCR protection. So one, the dV upon dt. dV upon dt. Other is the di by dt. So firstly I am taking the dV upon dt protection. First the protection is dV upon dt protection. Second is di by dt protection. Third is overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection. Fourth is overvoltage protection. Fifth is overload protection. Surge current protection. Okay, so different type of the protection scheme, and 6, 7 is temperature protection. These are the different protections. We are taking one by one the protection schemes and how to protect the SCRs. So firstly we are taking dV upon dt protection. Firstly we are taking the dV upon dt protection of SCR. What is the dV upon dt? You know, when SCR is in the off condition, it may be in the forward biasing, it may be in the reverse biasing. Reverse biasing, no issue, but in the forward biasing, when SCR in the forward biasing, two junctions are in forward, means this the holes, here the holes, here the electrons, here the electrons, here the holes. So these electrons in the hole region, holes are in electrons region. These electrons are in the hole region, holes are in electrons region, because their junctions are in a forward condition. So they conduct. But this is the depletion region. This is the depletion layer. Here no electron and no holes. Depletion. So due to this depletion region, it works as a capacitor, because in between two conducting region there is a non-conducting insulation. So in between two conducting plate there is an insulator, it works as a capacitor. So due to the capacitive behavior of SCR, when the input source is sinusoidal through the load and not through the load, whatever, when the input source is a sinusoidal in a circuit, the voltage is continuously varying. So due to the variation in the voltage, there is a current. This is charging current. It is C dV upon dt, and C is the junction capacitance. And if this current is, this charging current or capacitor current is greater than the latching current, SCR get be on. SCR on. Without any fire. So this is on a mal operation. We have discussed already. This is the mal operation of SCR. So how to avoid this mal operation? To connect the SCR, to protect the SCR by using a capacitor. But there is a high current in a circuit. To avoid this high current in a capacitive circuit, a resistance is connected in this circuit. So a series resistance and a series capacitance, they are connected. This circuit is generally known as snubber circuit. It provides dV upon dt protection. How we can calculate the value of resistance and capacitance? So the value of the initially, if there is no any charge on the capacitor, so whole current is passing through this one, and what the value voltage appears across the anode voltage is equals to I into R. I is the current which is passing through the capacitor, I into R. R is the series resistance. Even we are taking the differentiation of that, so dV upon dt, dVA upon dt is equals to Rs into di by dt. So there are two ratings, dV upon dt rating or di by dt rating, two ratings of the SCR. So the ratio of these two ratings, it decides the value of series resistance. So series resistance is equal to nothing, it is dVA upon dt divided by di by dt, maximum. At the maximum value of what the maximum value of dV upon dt, what the maximum value of di by dt. So the ratio of these two, suppose that a capacitor having the dV upon dt is equal to 500 millivolt per microsecond. And di by dt is equals to 20 ampere per microsecond. So the value of series resistance is equals to 500 divided by 20. So this is equals to 25 ohm. So in this way we can easily find out the value. Okay. So we can easily find out the value. So this is known as snubber circuit and a series resistance can be calculated. And we know the value of the series resistance, then definitely we can calculate the capacitor also. For the capacitor, we also know the value of the inductor. So if we are taking in the next one, the protection, that is protection is known as di by dt protection. That protection is known as di by dt protection. So in a di by dt protection, the current in a circuit should not exceed that particular value. To avoid this high current rate, a series inductor is connected in series. A series inductor is connected in a circuit. So that whatever the current is passing through this device, a limit by the inductor, so that the current will be passing through this one. When the SCR gets be turned on, the current is passes like this. So slowly and slowly the charges are spreading in this region, not sudden the charges are spread. So when the charges are spread, current is also spread in the whole region. So current should not be increased higher than the spreading rate. The rising rate of current should not be higher than spreading rate of the charges. Di by dt should not be, means it should be less than or is equal to dq spreading upon dt. This is the charge spreading rate and this is the current rising rate. Okay. So charges are spread and then current increase. Otherwise what happens, if the charges are not spread, then whole the current is passing through this particular point only. And when the whole current is passing through this particular point, this point will be get heat up. And due to the heating of this point, a hot spot will be take place, and due to the hot spot it will be damaged permanently. And when it damaged permanently from this point, it never get turned on by gate pulse. It never get turned on by the gate pulse, because the gate pulse is the charges are reached over here only to turn on the SCR. They are not spread initially on the whole region. The spreading is continuously processed, but the gate provides the charges enough to reach this point only. Okay, so permanently damaged. So what happens, whatever the source voltage, its rising rate of the current is equal to L di by dt. The whole voltage will be stopped by the inductor. Whole voltage, whatever the voltage comes, when the SCR will be on, this is the source and this is the load and this is the SCR. When SCR get on, the whole voltage should be appear across the inductor, and inductor withstand the voltage, and inductor can increase the current. The inductor having nature, it should not sudden allow the current, it slowly and slowly increases the current, and due to this nature, initially it withstand the whole the voltage. So the voltage withstanding of this inductor is like this one. Initially whole the voltage will withstand by the inductor, and slowly voltage across the inductor is dropped and current in the inductor is increased. So finally, when the charges are spread in the whole region, current increase, no issue. When the charges are spread in the whole region, current will be rise. Okay, then no issue. But before spreading the charge, if the current rise, then the issue. Then the hot spot. So initially at this point of time, the whole the voltage will be appear, source voltage will appear across the inductors, and so that the inductor, series inductor, this is. So the value of the series inductor is Ls is equals to source voltage divided by di by dt. What the maximum possible value, that is maximum. Okay, so this is the way we can find out the value of the maximum value of inductors. Maximum value of the inductors. So we have know the value of R series and two formula we know. For the snubber circuit, We know the value of series resistance. Series resistance is nothing dV upon dt divided by di by dt. Di by dt. This is the series resistance, and this is the value of inductance. Okay. So we can here put the value di by dt. From here we can put the value di by dt. So di by dt we can put over here. Di by dt is V upon Ls. So our series can be write down dV upon dt divided by di by dt. Di by dt is from here Vs upon Ls. Vs the source voltage, Ls is the series inductor. So this is Rs is equals to Ls by Vs into dV upon dt maximum. So these are the relationship in between L and R. L and R. We know the value of R and L. We know the value of dV upon dt and source voltage. Okay. Then the whole three circuit. Initially, if the capacitor not started, SCR not started, then there is a flow of current like this one. The path of the current is through this, and through the inductor. So the inductor should be underdeveloped circuit, underdamped circuit, not the underdeveloped. It should be underdamped circuit. So for the underdamped circuit, the damping factor, underdamped circuit, the resistance is equals to 2 xi under root of L by C. This is the condition for a underdamped circuit. Here the value of Rs is equal to this one, and we will put the value of an inductor is Ls is equal to, we know the value of Ls, how we will find out the Ls? So that is Vs is equals to Ls di by dt. In this way we can find out the value of Ls. Okay. So a circuit should be underdamped circuit, and this xi is the damping factor. Damping factor. Xi is the damping factor. So this damping factor should be in the range of 0.5 to 0.8. Not for safe operation. Otherwise it should vary from 0 to 1, but it should be from 0.5 to 0.8. Normally we are taking xi is equals to 0.7 for safe operation. Okay, whatever the value. But here we can find out the value of the C. So the value of C is, we are taking the square of the sides, then the C comes over here. C is equals to 4 xi square L divided by Rs. 4 xi square L divided by Rs. So this is the value of the C. This is the value of C. So we will put the value of Rs and L. Rs by L we can put the value from here. Rs and L. Yeah, L by Rs. So this is nothing. Ls comes over here. So this is the Ls. So L by R, Rs will come take over here. Rs. So this the Vs goes over here. dV upon dt comes over here. So it is equal to 4 xi square. Ls upon Rs is equal to Ls upon Rs. L comes equal to Vs upon dV upon dt maximum. So this is the way, and xi is 0.7, so the square of the 0.7 is half. So half multiplied by that, it will become 2 Vs divided by dV upon dt maximum. So suppose that if a circuit having the voltage, as we have taken the example, previous example 400 voltage, so 4 into this 2 into 400 is equal to 800 divided by dV is equal to 500 volt per microsecond. That is the value of dV upon dt. So the value of this is equals to 20 get cancel out. So it will be 8 divided by 5, 8 by 5 microfarad. Okay, 8 by 5, then multiplied by 2, it is 8 by 5 is 1.6 microfarad. So this is the way we can easily find out the value of capacitor to be required. Okay, so this is about the protection circuit, the value of L, R and C. All three values L, R and C, three components we are connecting across the capacitor. Two are across the capacitor. They are known as snubber circuit, one in a series with in SCR, two are parallel and one in series. Parallel are R and C, they are known as snubber circuit, one in a series and in a series inductor. So they are connecting to provide the protection. So inductor is to provide di by dt protection and capacitor is provide dv upon dt protection. So one is for di series, inductor for di by dt protection and capacitor for dv upon dt protection. So snubber circuit is for dv upon dt protection, not di by dt. Okay. For the hot spot protection, inductor. For hot spot protection, inductor. For male operation protection, capacitor. So we can define like this one. Now we have studied these two protections. These two we have studied. Now third we are taking overcurrent protection. So we have studied these two. So I am making now the circuit arrangement like this one. There is a SCR and there is a load and this is the whole circuit. Okay. So to provide dV upon dt, first protection, there is a resistance and a capacitor. To provide dV upon dt protection, first protection is complete. Second protection, di by dt protection, here we are providing an inductor, series inductor. It provides di by dt protection. Okay, that is for di by dt protection. Third is overcurrent protection. To provide the overcurrent protection, a fuse is inserted over here, a fuse. Okay. And second, LS, fast actuating, it is fast actuating, current limiting fuse. At the fast actuating current limiting fuse, at the special protection. It is normally for overload protection. For fifth one. To provide the overload protection, we are connecting a fast actuating current limiting fuse. So what is the characteristic of this fast actuating current limiting fuse? When current in the limit, the material here which is used in this one, a tube, this is a glass tube only, a material which is in the solid nature, solid in the niche. Solid, initiated in the solid state. So it allows the current. When the current is higher than its value, rated value, it melt. And due to the melting, it comes into the liquid form. And liquid resistance is higher than the solid resistance. So resistance is increased. So current limits. And if the current further increase, it vaporize. So when it vaporize, resistance further increase. So definitely current limit. So it is fast actuating current limiting fuse. It limits the current. And further if the current not limiting, then this fuse is burned, break. This fuse break the circuit. So this is the overload protection and overcurrent protection. Now the over voltage protection. To provide the over voltage protection, we are providing here a variable resistance, variable resistor. A variable resistor is connected, variable resistor. A variable resistor is connected over here. So what the function of this varistor? The function of this varistor is, it is like this one. When the voltage increases further, if the voltage limits, this is the rated value of the voltage. So when the voltage increases, its resistance will be decreases. It's like this one. Its resistance decreases when the voltage increases. So this is the voltage, this is the resistance. So for a particular limit, it's operate, for this is the same operation. After that one, the resistance is further decreasing. So resistance is decreasing, the voltage will not cross this particular value and it provides a short circuit path. The SCR will be safe and the current is passing through like this. Its resistance decreases. So the current is passes through this one, not passes through the SCR. So SCR is the safe. So this is known as over voltage protection. This is the over voltage protection. Then the surge current protection. To provide the surge current protection, what we have to do, we have to calculate what that temperature rise in half of the cycle. Then the current rating of the SCR, anode current rating is square into the resistance of anode, means the forward biasing resistance of the thyristor, into T by 2. So this is the temperature rise in the half of the cycle. It should be less than or equal to what the surge current rating, and resistance is the same, and for the time is surge time. Right, the surge time. So this half cycle temperature rise, the rise in the temperature due to the surge should be less than that. Because we are designed SCR heat sink such that it remove the temperature who is increased in the half of the cycle. In every half it will be removed, then SCR will be safe, because the temperature is not accumulated and temperature is not continuously rising, and in every half the temperature goes to the next half, so that the temperature is carry on and for temperature rise. So if the surge current is also increase the temperature, and if the increasing temperature is not beyond that, what the current or the temperature rise due to the half of the cycles, the maximum current, then no any damage. So resistance get damaged. So the value of the surge current rating according to the heat protection circuit is equals to IA under the root T upon Ts upon 2. Ts upon 2. Okay. So this is the formula. This is the way. So we will provide the proper heat sink, and heat sink rating is equal to the half cycle temperature rise spreading rate. So that is according to the thermal we will calculate. So this is the surge current protection. So this is about the surge current protection. And temperature protection, for providing the temperature protection, SCR is mounted on the heat sink. The heat sink is like this one. If we are having the one SCR mounted over here, we are having the two SCR then mounted like this and this, not being center. If we are having the four SCR and one mounted over here, other mounted over here, and third mounted over here, and four mounted over here. So they should be mounted in equal spacing so that the temperature rise of the heat sink should be uniform. So heat spreading is uniform. No one particular SCR will increase the temperature more so that not particular one SCR get overheated. Otherwise SCR get damaged. So this is about the whole protection circuit the SCR will have to safe operation. So definitely you enjoy this lecture a lot and you like this lecture, definitely you will share the video to your friends and definitely you will subscribe this one. So this is the third one lecture in the power electronics. So take the lecture one by one. Definitely your fundamental in the power electronics will become more stronger and stronger. So the one day you will be having the knowledge more than what the knowledge your faculty will have, your senior will have. So go through the lecture and you will, whatever the comments you want to, you can share with me. So I will be provide more, I will also providing the online classes after some time. So you can join these classes and if you want to give the test and find out your position, you can go on the e-test series. So I am Shishram Ola, having the 22 years of the experience in electrical engineering. So definitely you will get benefit from my experience. Thanks.